The Kingdom of Morocco is battling terrorism, poverty, desertification and discrimination against women. In the midst of the struggle, an ancient tree, the argan, has become a source of hope. Goats and camels love its leaves and its fruit, from which a special oil can be extracted. It's Morocco's green gold, a key tool in efforts to promote sustainable development in rural areas. The wild argan tree is endemic to Morocco, but over the last 100 years, more than a third of the argan forest has disappeared. From the time of the French presence, thousands upon thousands of trees have been cut down. Today, the argan-growing region of southwestern Morocco is rapidly shrinking. With the species under threat, UNESCO has added the argan tree to the World Heritage List so as to protect it via the UN cultural body's global network of biosphere reserves. Alongside oases, the forests form a natural line of defense against the advancing desert. We're in the small Berber village of Ait Aliohamou. Here, women have just made an important decision to emerge from their isolation and work together to produce argan oil. Khadiza Ait Usun heads the women's cooperative. This all-female production unit is eager to make its mark on the domestic market. Later, members hope to set their sights even further afield. Their boss ensures that hygiene is respected. The women must wash their hands with soap, no henna on the skin is allowed, and rings and bracelets are removed.
Before the cooperative was created, the production of argan oil was a lot more laborious and difficult for us. Each woman had to find her own customers at the weekly market. That's no longer necessary. Now the women work together in premises that belong to us collectively. It's a new experience.
There isn't yet a machine to break the extremely hard argan nuts. Working together, the women talk, sing, and increase their productivity. The Argan project, which this cooperative is part of, wants to improve the quality and quantity of oil on the market, as well as guaranteeing a more regular flow of production.
Right now, within our workroom, we feel a motivation and an exceptional strength of will compared to before, and we want to take this project forward.
We have a drought problem. The argan tree resists drought, so its oil is the only resource I can live off. I'm asking for a fair price for the work I put in.
Supported by the Moroccan government and the EU, the Argan project aims to boost women's incomes as well as their social status within their families and villages. Now they're beginning to play an important role in the region's economic life.
Before, neither argan oil nor women had a value. Now both are valued and esteemed, and with the creation of our collective, we're proud to generate significant returns.
Today, local people respect the argan trees. They're no longer being cut down. The village is protecting its treasure. Out and about, the head of the Argan Tree project is doing his bit. To create women's cooperatives, men too must be convinced. Sadiq Idrissi has already brought together 42 cooperatives, incorporating 2,000 women. His objective for next year is to double the number of those involved. The EU and Morocco jointly finance the Argan project, an initiative that costs 12 million euros. It's in the town of Taroudant that what's at stake really becomes clear. Together with 5 other cooperatives in the region, the women of Ait Aliohamou have created a so-called economic interest group. For a semi-automated production process, bottling, and for the conquest of Asian, American and notably European markets, it's better to go forward together.
A single cooperative can't commercialize its argan oil. That's why they've formed an economic interest group to come together and give value to the oil.
The next day, the head of the Argan project is visiting the rural community of Belfar, much further south, bordering the sand dunes. What matters here is halting the advance of the desert. Over a year, intensive farming of tomatoes, for example, uses 8,000 tons of water per hectare. The shoots of young argan trees only consume 30 tons. This colossal saving counts in a country where the water table is falling by 1 metre every year.
The water table is now 250 meters down. Also, we have sand advancing. On the other hand, argan trees consume very little water compared to intensive farming.
Here on the tax beat site, a local association is in charge of a brand new 42-hectare plantation. It wasn't easy to convince villagers to embark on the project, says the president of the Al Wada group, but following repeated droughts, opinions are beginning to change.
Wheat farming doesn't pay as well as it did in the past. Argan brings in more money. That's why we're trying to convince people to plant argan trees.